What is your biggest fear based upon your personality? Now we can do a lot of guesses, and there might be some phobias you might deal with. Not everybody likes spiders and scorpions and snakes. Oh my. You know, feel free to put your fears in the comments, and I'm going to do the best I can to guess based upon your personality alone. Not your phobia, per se, but what your personality is afraid of. This is a good idea. Dang, Eric, where do you come up with this stuff? Well, that's part of my personality. I'm entertaining. That's what I do. That's what I am. That's what I is. I'm the entertainer. Hi. I'm afraid of not being entertaining. I'm afraid of being boring. Somebody once told me that they read an apocalypse book, and in that book they said one of the top needed positions was an entertainer during an apocalypse. I was like, you know what? I don't, that's nice to hear. An ESFP being the entertainer. I'm gonna get to your personality in a second, but I would much rather eat than be entertained, even in an apocalypse, okay? But I get what you're getting at. I get it. All right, who's next? ENTJ. And the commanders, right? What if they had to be the follower? They couldn't command. They had to sulk into the crowd and be a nobody. Ooh. All right. What if the INFJ was not the advocate, the antagonist? The INFJ has to be the enemy, the villain. Some of you guys, I know that there is a percentage of people watching this channel right now are dark INFJs. You guys are dark. As dark as the shadows, man. You INFJs are scary as frick, you guys are. I know you are. At least some of you have told me. Those videos are scary. I have those on there. So if you want to see the dark INFJs, go find them. They're there. Don't worry, we will make a YouTube video on that. The big ones, the big pink shirt videos. What if the INFP, we'll save that one for later. That one's interesting. ENFJ being the protagonist. What if they weren't? What if they were just a regular guy, an extra? Hey, Jim, who are you? What's your name again? Ooh, that would hurt the ENFJ, I might think. Because they like to feel like they're supporting the group. But if they're just, not really part of the group, they're just kind of alone. Oh. Even though ENFJs do like to be alone at times. Yes, they do. You guys liking this one? I'm also afraid of tie-dye. Somebody gave this to me. And you know what? I'm getting over it because it's entertaining. All right, the campaigner, ENFP. Caveat, not every NFP type is healthy. This brings in the INFP type. I don't think that they have a very easy time being healthy. Stereotypically living into society's standards, following the rules, staying in line, not being creative, just being boring and all that, straightforward in society. Here's your function and do this for the rest of your freaking life. Hi, how are you? No, NFP types don't really like that. So if you told a campaigner type, ENFP, to not campaign and hide in the shadows, you know what? As the ambiverted type, they might be okay with that. That's what's strange about the ENFP. I've noticed that. They're not very healthy easily, but therefore they kind of like hiding away and doing nothing except for, whatever they want on their own and being pulled out in order to function in society. They don't campaign. They're not considered healthy, but I don't think that they're afraid. I don't think ENFPs and INFPs really qualify for this "what's you afraid of" thing. You guys tell me. I mean, I'm probably totally off. But the INFP is the mediator, right? So what if the INFP was like the anti-mediator? Not kind and not poetic, selfish and mean and antagonistic, kind of like how the INFJ is. I don't like how the mediator and the advocate frankly sound like the same freaking thing on 16 personalities. That's when I'm getting these phrases to pull your backwards version, right? Your antonym. Well, NFP types might be immune because they're so easily slipped into this and they're kind of living their greatest fear. All right, let's move on. This is kind of getting a little profound. Let me know your thoughts. I will continue. What if the ISTJ had to be a clown? They had to wear makeup and tights, and they had to dance and sing in front of people. You realize that some EFP types want to do that? I know, my EFP counterparts actually like to do that kind of crap. ISTJ, you go next. How do you feel now? ISFJ, what if you were the causer of pain instead of defending? You actually inflicted pain. That might be a weird fear. I don't think you could live with yourself if you caused pain to somebody else. ESTJ, you had to be an employee. No executive, ESTJ. You had to be a fluffy bunny. No scorpion nature. No pincers, no stinger. What if your tail was a fuzzy cotton ball? You made no noise. You were just quiet and soft and huggy, ESTJ. Are you afraid of being hugged? I mean, come on. Come here. Hug my tie-dye. Is it annoying you yet? I'm sure it is. His fears do that. Okay, looking on the zipper. We're looking for the zipper. Look, I'll show you what I'm looking at. The ESFJ. Extraordinarily caring and social. If you were just selfish and you didn't care about anybody. Some ESFJs, especially the unhealthy type, live that anti-version. It's not in their nature, right? Not in their nature. What if you didn't know how to bake a cake? I mean, you're wrecked. All right, ISFP, I'm gonna coop you up. I'm gonna keep you inside. Never allowed to adventure again, ISFP. No art, no self-expression, black and white. You wear a monkey suit the rest of your life. Never allowed to leave the box. If I had to push the ESTP entrepreneur, in my mind, I would not really call that. If you had to keep the ESTP also in a box, but they weren't allowed to socialize at all. In fact, they weren't allowed to use their senses. You had to wear a blindfold ESTP with earplugs and all of your sensory functions deadened. And be alone. You might like that for a while, but eventually you'll go crazy. No one to poke, no one to mess around with, no ideas to consider, nothing to judge, nothing to be critical of. Oh man, a bland world. Just bleh. Ooh, shivers, ESTP. All right, we've already covered this. I mean, what the frick, you guys? Come on. I'm so sick of seeing this maraca shaking, who knows what that is. Every single personality channel, besides this one. It's just like, no, ESFPs don't exist, and if they do, they like to dance around with maracas. All right. Get off your tie-dye horse. What if the ENTP couldn't debate? You had to live in a black and white world, and there was always a solid one answer to everything. Couldn't debate. It's a fact. Sorry, there was no, you can't consider any other option or perspective. No debating. It is what it is. Well, what? You drive the crazy ENTP bonkers. Yeah, take that, ENTPs. You got nothing but one thing. Oof. Are you afraid of that, or is that just irritating? I think that's just more like, Yeah, try to debate that. You can't debate not debateness. Master debaters. You know what's freaky? If you stare long enough, one of them moves. Ah! Okay, go on and tell me your phobias. That's fine too. But I want to know by personality what you find your type, not just yourself, but on somebody else. I'm pretty sure you know somebody else who is your type. It's pretty common. Most people actually on here don't bring up ditto pairs ever. So it's hard for you to kind of be like, oh, I know another type who is my type. And we generally have this in common that we don't like or do like. So I don't know. That's up to you. You tell me. What are you afraid of? Or what just irritates you? Besides some weird ESFP in a tie-dye t-shirt. Hey, we forgot ISTP. I always forget the ISTP. So sorry. Did I forget anybody else, by the way? NTP is afraid of being stupid. ISTP has to live the rest of their life with their hands behind their back. You can't touch nothing. You couldn't touch anything, ISTP. No experimenting either. Yeah, you're going to be controlled. How do you feel now? Okay, I think that's everybody. Did I say the INTP might be afraid of looking stupid or feeling stupid, uninformed? Let me know. Yeah, the INTP is afraid of looking or feeling stupid, inexperienced and all that. Not allowed to learn anything new. Don't forget the INTJ. What if you had no plan? There was no big picture. There was no future. Only the present moment. INTJ. How do you feel now? And what are you afraid of?